guys? Mike G with MDG Collections on hand. Today, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a ride to my guy Joe at J&B. Go check out my guy Joe at J&B right now. All right, guys, at J&B with my boy Joe, one of the most amazing body shops in New York. All right, it's like Pimp My Rides in New York. I've been knowing his dad
100 years before he was born. Even my dad.
I've been knowing his you're nuts. I've been knowing his dad since 2009. So this 2019 made a decade that I've been knowing this guy. And look at him now. This guy's the man. So overall, when I stop by here and there just to show you what they do here at J&B, they are off the charts when it comes to body work. The best in the business. It's the only place I bring my car to. So stay tuned.
This is actually the hole. You come over here. The engine, you would just send it to the dealer. The engine had to come out. And then this plugs in over here. And all around here.
So the engine, of course, it's the Porsche. The engine's in the back.
Right. So this is the brace, the rear U-frame or rear cross member that ends up holding the engine. So what he's doing now, if you see over here, he cleaned the mating flanges.
Gotcha.
He plugs that in and he uses that adhesive bonding. And then rivets plug in here, the old rivet spots. And that's how they attach it.
So this would be the actual measuring system of how.
Yeah, so this is car bench. This is the bench one of the benches that Porsche approves. So they give us these measurements and we set it up, and if everything fits in here, it's all perfectly in line. So once he puts that in, he's going to put 2 more measuring points up here, and it'll tell him if that's exactly where it needs to be, so that everything has to be within 3 millimeters of spec for the frame.
So in other words, that's why you guys are certified Bentley, you're certified Aston Martin,
right? Porsche, Rolls Royce, McLaren. This is the old pieces.
And what happened to this car? What happened to it?
So it was tapped in the rear, and there's a reinforcement bar in it. It got pushed in and cracked this.
So those are garbage. No, you won't be using those anymore, pretty much.
Oh no, these were taken out. These are trash. So they were probably like this. And the welds here cracked. So this is where the motor mounts go. This car has electronic motor mounts that stiffen when the car's over like 70 miles an hour, I think. So then you can see here the adhesive, the old adhesive, and the old rivets.
Nice.
So what we're in is actually an aluminum booth. So this keeps all the steel out, it keeps all the salt out so that none of the aluminum corrodes. You don't have any issues with, what we would call like aluminum rust. It's not actually rust, it's corrosion. But down the line, and coming here, you can see, this is a toolbox that we have with just aluminum tools. So whenever you're working on aluminum, you're only supposed to work on aluminum with aluminum. So this is all aluminum. These are all aluminum hammers. Right? All this stuff can't be used on steel cars. It can't be used in the rest of the shop. Otherwise, you'll have an issue with corrosion later on down the line. Brushes that we use when we clean something before we weld it. There's some like hemming tools. This is a Vernon welder. This is the top of the line aluminum welder. We have 2. We have one specifically for Audi and one for every other company that demands it.
Got it. And what is this room called again?
So this whole area is our aluminum room, but this in here, we're actually inside a giant toolbox. This is our aluminum toolbox, basically.
Gotcha.
See if I can show you. These are more of the aluminum tools. We have these rubber hammers that were cool that we use because we can't use the aluminum.
Right. Mike, what's up, Mike? You're on the blog, baby.
Oh yeah, what's up, baby? J&B, the best in the biz, baby. The best in the biz.
That's Mike. You guys remember him from last time?
Dinosaur. And that the quality is probably just as good with this. Feel this.
I mean, it's 70D. What this is the older of the 80D. The 80D was after this.
Right.
This.
So here we have a new Panamera, new body Panamera. You can see we changed the hinge pillar, the section part of the rocker. In doing so, you can see we had our cradle. On this side, you can see it's all ripped up. So we had to change that out. We had to take the strut out, all the suspension. Then we had to brace from the engine over here, pop this out and put the new one in. We created this bench that jacks up to support the weight of the cradle. We took hinges to modify it from an older Rolls Royce that swung out for the suicide doors. And we welded this on so we had a little extra support.
It's like a PCM, right?
Yeah, this is the older ECU. This is gonna have to get changed. You can see it got damaged in the incident as well. So basically you overhaul all the suspension. You can see the strut mount. See the strut is gone? Right, and we plugged out all the suspension, which, I mean, you can see the control arms there to be replaced. We took out the old cradle, and then we just put the new cradle in, but in doing that, we had to brace the tranny, we had to brace the suspension. This is the oil pan. So you can see it's like, you know, not completely custom, but we just kind of play with it a little bit, and it's the easiest way we found to drop out those subframes. But
all right, guys, that is going to do it for this upload. Give this video a thumbs up if you can. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be a wrap.